Okay, today I just wanted to talk about a general topic about jobs and how I think people should spend their 20s and 30s and possibly 40s as well. For those of you who have been following my videos, by now you know a few things about me. I worked in a top investment bank for 6 years, grinding 120 hours a week, not getting any sleep for 3 days straight. And now I've been working at a credit fund for 8 years, where I'm investing in hybrid equities and debt instruments. I also heavily invested into the market from 2019 and turned my $400,000 of savings into 8.25 million during a 4-year time frame. Now, I want to break down this topic into a few subtopics. I just want to note that a lot of my thoughts are coming from my experiences when I interviewed and mentored hundreds of college grads looking for jobs, and the actual people who I worked with in recent years who gave me a lot of things to think about. Now, this is just my personal take, so don't take my words as a general fact, but please just take it as my subjective opinion on what's been happening these days. So the first topic is my observations on the younger generations, the so to speak Gen Zs these days. The first observation is that, number one, there are too many channels and distractions. Now, just about 15 to 20 years ago, there weren't that many channels. We hardly had Facebook, didn't have Instagram, and didn't have YouTube or TikTok. Not having those types of channels really forces you to focus on your real life. And when I say real life, I mean schoolwork, getting a job, and actually growing up as a human being. Younger generation these days find it difficult to do what the prior generations did because of the current environment. Now, obviously, it is not the younger generation's fault that such channels and distractions are in the world, and you can actually use them in a smart way to develop yourself, but oftentimes, as you all know, they are toxic. Now, my second observation is, in relation to my first point, a lot of younger generation is looking for quick bucks. Now, these days, it is so easy to get access to some wild stories on how some young dude in their teens or 20s made millions and billions. And even in high school or college, there could be some wild kid like that who made a lot of money in an instance. Now, what I've come to realize is that in a school or a group of people, if there's one single person who either got lucky or did a lot of research or whatever, who made millions through stocks or cryptos, it'll totally change the mentality of most of the rest of the people in the school or the group who would now start seeking for a similar success, i.e. the quick bucks. A lot of them would now start believing that they could also make the quick bucks and retire early or whatever and start pursuing speculative actions. But on the other hand, while it takes only one sample in a group to change a lot of people's mentality like that, in order to break that mentality of pursuing the quick bucks, it takes 10s and 20s and 30s and even more failure stories for them to realize that making such quick bucks is not the norm. Now, this is why it is so hard to re-engineer people's mindset onto the right path again. This is also why some ridiculous cryptos, stocks, and options trading YouTube channels are having so much success and so much views. People, especially the younger generation, just can't get their attention away from those quick bucks channels. Now, my third observation is, in relation to the first 2 points, a lot of the younger generation believes that they deserve better. Now, I think the toxic social media culture and quick bucks mentality contributes to this a lot. If you open Instagram or YouTube or whatever, you see so many people living luxury lifestyles with the quick bucks they made. So the patience level is getting diminished day by day. Now, with everything I said, I can only say that this is understandable given the environment the younger generation grew up in. A lot of them had better upbringing with unlimited access to the world through the internet and smartphones, and naturally, you might think that everyone deserves better than what they're getting. But to be honest, the work really doesn't work that way, and the supply of labor and demand for labor in general is quite efficiently balanced. And what really makes me sad is that because of the mentality of a lot of the younger generation these days, as long as you stay humble and seek small achievements step by step, it'll be extremely easy for you to stand out and be recognized in a company versus rest of the pack. But not a lot of young generations do that. A lot of them get swayed away with the rest of the pack and look for better perks, better pay, better hours, and less stress. Now, with all that, I want to move on to the next subtopic on why you need to get a job and keep the job. Despite all the observations about the younger generations I just laid out previously, I really hope that all of them still find a proper job and advance his or her life step by step. Now, when I say getting a job, the job I'm referring to is a job which is the most challenging for you and which you feel like you can learn the most. You need to get the best job you can get out there. Now, this may be different for everyone watching the video, but whatever it is, from multiple perspectives, including your interests, your passion, the pay, social perspectives, whatever they are, all things considered, get the best job out there to the extent you can. Now, the sad thing about the current world is that a lot of younger generations treat a job as just a source of income. Apart from getting paid, a lot of people treat a job as nothing else. Just a money-paying machine which puts some number on your bank account so that you can go ahead and buy PQQQ or Dogecoin or Pepe or whatever. Now, this is a really sad mentality given a job can grow a person so much as a human being, and a lot of them are missing out. Just to list up some stuff, working in an organization requires you to interact with other people. Now, learning how to interact with other people is the most important skill set that is required throughout a lifetime. I'm not just talking about it from a professional context, but just being a likable person makes your life so much easier. Working in an organization forces you to learn those skills. While it is hard to weigh, it is probably more important for you to be a likable person around the office than excelling in your job. Even if you're not successful at your job, learning how to be a caring and considerate person, taking into account of other people's circumstances and feelings, will be a huge asset for you in living your life successfully. Second, you learn to pursue happiness on a day-to-day basis. If you work in a company, it is your choice to be happy every day. While you might ignore or downplay your everyday routines, you might find happiness in taking some fresh air every morning when you go to work. You might also find happiness in interacting with the people you like and talking about what you did over the weekend with your office mates. You might also find happiness in getting lunch with someone you consider a mentor in the office. You might do some challenging work, and if your senior compliments you, saying that you did a good job, that might be the most fulfilling moment of your life. So, as you learn to value the little happiness and the feeling of accomplishment on a day-to-day basis, you become a lot more mature and turn yourself away from any addictive, trashy dopamines and actually get yourself to focus on your real life. Third, every day you go to work, you're increasing the minimum bar of your life. Now, everyone has their own satisfactory standards of a minimum bar in your life, but regardless of where you are in your life, every day you go to work, it'll count as an additional day of work experience to put down on your resume, and it will count towards your future career. Now, a person may make $1 million all of a sudden from the stock market or crypto, but that's not what I consider as a bar of a life being raised. That person may be rich now in materialistic terms, but trust me, that money that a person earned can go away super easily if you don't have a proper minimum bar of your life, which is gained through work experiences. By working in a company with all the experiences and better characteristics you have developed, you will also learn how to protect your wealth if you ever gain such wealth down the road in your life. Now, with all that, I want to kind of link it back to myself and share with you how working in my previous company for 6 years and current company for 8 years have grown me a lot. As you can probably imagine, working in investment banking for 6 years is a long time. About 30% of my colleagues left after the first year mark, and by the time we hit the 5th year mark, there were only 2 of us left. Now, while working extremely tough hours for 6 years, it not only grew me to be a better communicator, but also I became a lot more patient, enduring, and logical. I also became a person who can actually empathize with other people from their position before saying or doing anything. Now, in my previous videos, I talked about how I turned $400,000 into $8.25 million over a 4-year time frame. Now, strictly speaking, do you think that those returns were gained over a 4-year time frame? I don't think like that. I actually think it was gained throughout the entire period of my career, which was almost reaching 10 years by the time I started investing. And here's why. First, my previous job paid me the seed money to start investing. Second, I learned to be patient and I was able to wait until the perfect timing to invest. Third, I learned to endure the pain, and I was able to endure the losses and boring periods while investing. Fourth, I learned to empathize with other people and was able to read the market sentiment better. And fifth, I was trained to turn myself away from trashy dopamine and quick bucks and was able to approach investing with a step-by-step mindset. Now, I can list up 100 other factors how my job contributed to my success. This is why I believe that a person who managed to find the best job they can and succeeded in keeping the job for at least more than 3 years without quitting all deserves respect. And this is also why I just turn down any potential interview candidates if he or she has been hopping around from a job to another without being able to continue to work at a place for a decent amount of time. Trust me, any job is a challenge and every job has its own downsides. But at the end of the day, being satisfied with your job is your choice. If you choose to be happy at your job, you can be happy anywhere. If you choose to be miserable, you will be miserable anywhere, and you'll just keep moving around. But what I can guarantee is that a person who finds happiness at his job can be happy anywhere and will succeed sometime down the road in his life. So guys, when there's an opportunity, please find the best job for you and please keep the job as long as you can. Forget about the thoughts of quick bucks for at least a few hours during the day. And try to think that you're already getting more than you deserve and devote yourself to work. By doing so, you will become a better person and you will succeed. I'll be back with more videos very soon.